and there's no personal interaction anymore. I thought at my restaurant, I would do our guests. Imagine that we have guests, not customers or consumers, or clients. My parents who both work in the healthcare industry, and one of the things that they kind of got a little bit upset about during that whole ordeal, whenever they were going through what they were going through up there, is that the administration of the hospital, a fucking hospital, was making this transition of going through calling the patients at the hospital customers, and they were doing customer satisfaction surveys and things like that. It was over, I was had to go to, I can't remember what it was done. I was having some issues with my stomach, and find out I was lactose intolerant and everything like that, but I had to go see a gastroenterologist, and when I went and I got to his office, I said, yeah, well, I pay cash because I don't have any insurance. And I'm a veteran, but good luck getting an appointment with the VA. So I have to go to private doctors and pay cash out of pocket. And so that's fine. So when I get the procedure done and I show up over to the desk to pay the bill, the lady at the desk didn't even know how much to charge me. She was like, nobody ever pays in cash, I don't know how much to charge you. And, we can see these little usurpations occur like at various little levels in our lives, and the things that we kind of exposed to, like on the daily. For example, like the credit card machine. Before, there was a physical transaction or a meeting of the person with the teller and so on and so forth, some cash and things like that back and forth, And everybody knows that cash benefits small business. It helps small business, ways we can spend them back and things like that, that help out. But since the cash started getting eliminated, now we have this piece of plastic that we shove into this kind of, unconcerned machine that just does some hooly-doo that we don't even know what it does, that makes it just, subtract money from our bank accounts instantly, and then we're handed an impersonal receipt all at the same time while having no conversation whatsoever with the person that's over at the counter and probably wants to blow their brains out whenever they get off of work. The funny thing is about those silly card readers is, in the business I have to deal with them. I have to take them. I don't have a choice. Because if I did customer survey, and I said, well, if we got an ATM here, in cash only, how would you feel about that? Well, I just wouldn't like that at all. And I said, well, what if, you knew that we were being charged just exorbitant rates and interchange rates, and about 50 or so rates every time we swipe a card. And then, of course, in the restaurant business, once you close the ticket, I used to reopen it to make a chip adjustment, which there's another charge. And they were like, well, it's not my problem, that I should be inconvenienced to go to an ATM. And I said, well, what would be kind of the saving grace there at the ATM? And they said, the fee. And I realized, if I bought an ATM machine and stocked it full of cash myself and charged no fee to use it, I would be making more money. I had 12% more money. And also, I'm thinking about this thing, it's like somebody sit there and tell me, I'm struggling, we can't take credit cards, they charge us too much. And they're like, well, fuck you, we're never going to come back here again. Everything was great. The service was great, the food was great, everything was wonderful, but god damn it, I can't believe I can't use my fucking credit card so I can get my points. My points, hell, I'm 40,000 points away from getting a coffee mug. Well, those points People don't realize these incentives and these bonuses and stuff, they come from me. They come from every small business owner that you charge for your $1,000 coffee mug, you know, or your discount at your fucking oil change. When you think about those things, you know, they take the freaking card, you know, and it's like, you know, thanks, have a nice day, and you know, your customer swipes the card and so on and so forth at your business. And our business, we have guests, their guests swipe their card, we do this for them. And like immediately, like if I go to the grocery store or something and buy some shit, like I know that as soon as I put my fucking card in that machine, that fucking immediately that motherfucking money's coming out of my goddamn bank. I know that. I can watch it, the boop gone. You know, but God forbid they fuck up and have to pay me money or whatever, and that's going to take 5 to 8 days. What is that? What the fuck is that? You know, and I found out, and I didn't fucking know this because I'm growing up, we didn't see no damn credit card. Ain't no fucking credit card. What the fuck is that? You know, and these are the 80s. And I found out first credit card company started in 1969. Not as a credit card company, but an actual processing company. And that was even running credit cards in the fucking 60s. I didn't know that. Who the fuck knew that? You know? Now, we can notice the other day or checking out, you know, used to, at least you put your card, you swipe the fucking thing, and it go doo-doo-doo, and it'd be like, yeah, you know, you get a good feeling with some great, you know, thing. And if you fucked up, it would go you know. Well, now, since they've swapped it over to the, you know, you gotta put it in there and you gotta fucking wait and all this shit. And then whenever it's done and you've successfully completed your transaction, it goes, like you did something fucking wrong. And it's kind of funny because, you know, and that's the situation. The only situation that right now currently is purely as a result of modern time is you can look a woman in the face at a checkout line at one of those card machines, if she's the teller, and say, well, you want me to stick it in or slide it, you know? And they just, it's like, oh, any other place would be sexual harassment and so on. But that little shit, it's just what I believe to be like a diabolical scheme to like pile on these like tiny little aggravations that are just everywhere, you know, that just really kind of stew and boil everybody into just a fuck pot of fucking bullshit, you know. You go to the store, it's like, you know, your alarm's going, when you get up and stuff, you know. Work doesn't start at like, you know, 10:30 or 11. Most normal human beings get up. Nah, you gotta get up at 5 in the morning whenever your ball's fucking tired, you know. And then don't be late. Don't be late, you know, because the whole economy is gonna stop if you're gonna be late, you know, because you didn't get to your friggin' stupid meeting or your dumb fucking latte in time, so you can go do your wage slavery and your bullshit. You know, you live the American dream for only so fucking long before it turns into a goddamn nightmare. And you know, hey, everybody saw it's coming. They're like, hey, we're eating too much food. Hey, there's too much sugar in the food. Hey, you know, there's too much hydrocarbons in the air. Hey, you know, problems, red flags or whatever. Well, slowly but surely, it's creeping up. Here come the symptoms. And one of the things that I see, of course, is social media. You know, I had a friend of mine whose wife works at a daycare. They have children they want to raise, but in an odd, uncommon, unheard of, unknown, ununderstood twist of cruel fate, he happens to love his family and he happens to want to be around them all the time. And, I asked him about that because I don't have kids. I didn't know if there was a time where I would have or would have not, but, looking back on my life and my marriage or whatever, people say, oh man, divorce. Well, you're lucky you don't have any kids, And I said to him, yeah, I guess. I don't think I wouldn't be, if I did have children, I wouldn't be going, man, I wish I didn't have these kids, I sure would be lucky if I didn't have them. So, it's kind of a shitty passive empathy over, in the playing field of saying, well, you don't have any more fucking problems than you already do, which doesn't help. But, he thought he loved kids and things, you take care of your family and stuff, and that's what he does. And I said, when you go to work and stuff, do you miss your family? And he says, fuck, that's all I think about, And that's all his wife thinks about. So they think about the kids, and they can't wait to be on the kids. Well, he's got a good paying job, and he has to get up in the morning and he has to do the whole fucking monkey suit thing. And he gets out of work decent time. He's get the kids arranged and everything. But his spouse works at like a daycare that's in a church in our community. And the church that it sets in our community is known for being like, the church where all the rich people go, because I've had people tell me all kinds of fucked up shit whenever I had my experience with God and Christ thing. And naturally you have the religious experience and you're talking to freaking Christ, you're like, okay, when you get out of it, of course you think you go to church, And you come to find out that, no. Christ in our heart. His love, His unconditional love, His sacrifice, sufferings in our heart. It's not in some corrupt fucking building full of suits, smiling each other's face and making sure they get on the front row and all this crap and this fucking hierarchy bullshit, and everything. And by the way, come see me. I got some good stock picks for you, Sunday. And they said they go there. She works at the daycare at this church, People mingle, business mingle. I had a guy tell me, I said, go to church. He said, well, what are your goals? And she says, well, I just want to find some place to find a like-minded fellowship of people who might want to talk about spirituality or something, I don't know, or talk about how we're fucking sinners and talk about how goddamn fucking wretched our lives are and shit like that, and start kind of maybe, I don't know, confessing that we're fucking up. But, it's just like this. Well, a time and a place for that, But church, you pick your right church because you want to forge the right alliances with the right group of people and shit like that. It's fucking, this guy's not the only one. He says, you go to this church, it's where all the rich people go, all the business people go, but, this and that, and blah, 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 and here's the rules of that one. And I said, okay, bye. Bye. And then I'm out and about, and I see another friend of mine I'm used to kind of be out once in a while, he's a Christian, fellow Christ. He doesn't actively participate in the church, but I was like, he knows I'm going through. He says, look, he's going through divorce. I'm going through divorce. He says, look, man, what you need to do is you need to start thinking about getting some pussy. You need to start thinking about where to get the pussy. And he's like, now, pussy, I tell you, the pussy's at. It's over on Calvary. That's what pussy's at. And I said, fuck. Calvary. Christ is crucified in his pussy. And I need to be scurrying my dick in my hand over there to get some fucking pussy over there. And he didn't mean it, you know. There's a lot of beautiful women that attend this particular church and everything, you know, fine. But just the symbology of it is kind of, you know, hits me up. So I did my little experiment time with dating apps and dating social media and shit like that. And I rapidly kind of realized that nope, don't do it. No, don't do it. You know, I had a couple of unique experiences on it, you know, so I threw the old worm out there, you know, to see if it would get wet, get a bite, and boom, got one, you know, not too long during the day, a Tuesday, around 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., you know, after lunch at home, and the kids are gone and the husband's at work and she's at home. And now, here's the fucking kicker, you know, she was boom, just right on it, just rushing in to get her nudity and her bullshit out there so she can go on to Billy and Edward and the rest of the 200 guys that she had to get to before her husband got home from work with the kids. Because, well, she had to get a protection order against him real quick, you know, and all that stuff. So she had a lot to do. It's a busy day. 200 sex, then you gotta fuck the husband's life up. She's cheating on him, don't want to feel bad about it or whatever, and she's debating on whether or not she's just gonna go ahead and say he molested the kids just to give him the final blow or whatever. She's already ruined the whole fucking thing to begin with just because of her damn this. That shit. You know, you know you got a damn husband and kids that rely on you and shit, and you just fuck up their whole lives with your stupid ass decisions. And she was on it quick. Yeah, I go look at her pictures and stuff, you know. And what I see about a 46-year-old woman who on her profile is claiming that she's, you know, like 35 or 34, which is fucking ridiculous. I mean, she could no, it wasn't gonna happen. And then, you know, the pictures that she has on there are like, you know, one of them was just, it just took the cake. You know, they all have kids, you know, 3 kids and there's pictures or whatever, and you're kind of wondering, like, okay. She's standing in front of this, you know, water fountain or whatever, and then there are the children. So, who's taking the picture with her phone? Unless they have robot selfie sticks, which apparently now is what they're calling the husbands, the selfie stick. Because the best one, they kind of took the case with the cake and those. And the images looked at that she had to represent herself and, you know, wanting to hook up and, you know, nothing permanent and fucking all that bullshit was. And she was in the passenger side of like a vehicle, a sedan, you know, or what are those we call them, like a Suburban and things like that. And like, you can see that the kids were like kind of in the back behind her. She's in the passenger seat. The kids were like in the back behind her, and like she cropped most of it out. She's like that. Well, then like if she's in the passenger seat of a vehicle, the kids are in the back. Then either the selfie stick is operating the vehicle while she had to jump over into the passenger seat and get a thing, or she's married. And much like the statistics, as staggering as they are, 60%, 60% of the women on Tinder and Match.com and, you know, Plenty of Fish and all these really fun sites that people use to just fuck up their lives and engage in all this sexual immorality. 60% of them are married, you know, Most of them are women. As a matter of fact, the women outnumber the men overwhelmingly. And I saw it. And, I found myself getting in a trap of just like kind of, looking superficially at like a picture of another human being in their life and just fucking throwing them away, just purely going to. And what I realized is that it is an addiction. Yep. And not only is it an addiction, it's something that is funneling, young people into. It's our women, our wives, our mothers are going into that direction, And then the kids become corrupted. Shit's just bad, I saw some study about the things, and what I came to understood is that ultimately this type of behavior is leading our children to narcissistic, personality disorders, and that you become so used to not having to interact with another human being you might be having conflict with or whatever, and you could just bye. You don't have to deal with them. They become idolized in a weird kind of way. The people, they represent the totem of themselves. Graven. This is nothing that can actually come out and like harm you in that regard, but you can just bam, hit the button on them and have them go. And I think that, when you grow up with this type of thing in your life, say when you're 3 years old and like, 97 or 95 or something like that, you've grown up in this environment, this scenario, this detachment. And what ends up happening is that you got a bunch of narcissistic people running around. The statistics back some of that up. I think I saw one where you had like prior to the computer age, you get the 80s and stuff like that, before it blew up in the way that it did prior to the internet. Cases that people surveyed, and a particular study showed that they estimated between 8 and 12% of the population of the country suffered from narcissistic personality disorder. And in a more recent study that was done of 16,000 college students, 30% have it. 30%. So the population as a whole, say on a 10-point even spread, 10% of the population as a whole has it. And now a sample of 16,000 college students, more than 2/3 per capita, like it's huge. And what's going to happen as a result is a big swing to the right, because I realized something, that there's a connection between right-wing conservatism and what the Republican Party used to be and what it has become. Two different things. Very self-serving. It's very egocentric. It's very isolationist. It's like, fuck them. We don't give them shit. And basically what that says is, fuck everybody else, because they're not me, and I'm not giving them shit because I don't give a fuck about them, and they don't deserve anything because I don't give a fuck about them. And you can see it. I mean, this fucking megalomaniac that sits in the White House today. If you're good enough and big enough of an asshole, and you're big enough of a megalomaniac, and you're big enough of a fucking narcissist to get all of the fucking narcissists in a country to vote for you instead of themselves, you've done something just incredible. It's an incredible feat, because you can't even get a fucking narcissist to admit that their shoes are unfucking-tied, much less have them, what are they gonna get out of it? Nothing. Because he's a fucking narcissist. The guy's a megalomaniac. He's not serving anyone but himself. And they all do this. It's their whole agenda. It's the whole fucking point. And, you know, good people, and these liberal, you know, people that generally don't walk around like, you know, self-aggrandizing. They're essentially, from what I can tell, their lack of accomplishments is being something that's better than other people's real accomplishments. You know, like I would challenge anyone, you know, kind of against that paradigm, in the sense that I could say, well, something simple like, I know a guy who's a narcissist who hasn't done a fucking thing in his whole life, never, just fucking nothing. And well, I mean, I served my country, I served honorably, I'm a disabled veteran, I served in 2 foreign theaters, 2 overseas, decorated for it, successful business, one of the top 5 restaurants in the state, a region number 1 in the region, and I have lots of accomplishments, you know. So if I go to the man and I say, okay, look, you know, here's my accomplishments: military veteran, decorated, discharged honorably, served my country and answered the call after 9/11 whenever terrorists blew up buildings, killed thousands of fucking people. Okay, I answered the call twice to 2 foreign theaters during my service. Okay, successful restaurant, top 5 in the state, number 1 in the region. So that gives me about 8 achievements, real achievements. And I would say, well, so go ahead and list yours, you know. And, you know, it doesn't matter, it'll be better. You're like, yeah, well, you know, I'm old, blah, 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 and fucking whatever, get the fuck out of my face, and all this kind of shit. Oh, yeah, you know. And they can't, because they don't have any real achievements, because they don't have any real love. Never did. They have no way to love or understand how to love anybody else but themselves. And so as I was reading about the phenomenon of narcissism, what I discovered was that, well, it makes a lot of sense, because you see, what they found is there's a connection between people who have narcissistic personality disorder and the amount of gray matter that's in their brain. And gray matter has a density and things like that, which means narcissistic people are fucking stupid. And what they're doing is they're overcompensating for their stupidity by making themselves better than everybody else, because they don't want their feelings to be hurt, or realizing that they're fucking nothing. And, you know, and like the weird thing about it is like, well, yeah, we are nothing. You know, but for some reason or another, it's like, I don't get it, whether they're terrified to admit this. They're fucking terrified. They're fucking terrified to admit that they're nothing, and they're nobody, and they're not important, and they're not special. I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I'm not important, I'm not special, and just because I serve my country doesn't make me fucking any more important, special than anybody else. And the way that these people treat me and fucking fuck up my life or whatever, I still stand for the right. I still will uphold. I went overseas, I stood up for their right to be assholes. I stood up for their right to freaking abuse me with verbs, words, the first person, whatever you want to. Freedom of speech, freedom of all this kind of stuff, you know. And it's fine. I'm not worried about that. But I'm thinking, like, stupid people overcompensate for not having knowledge by self-aggrandizing, okay? Well, they don't not have knowledge because they just don't have it. They don't not have knowledge because they don't give a fuck about the truth. Because the truth is something that is also beneath them, that they have control over. And it's that I don't have control. I have nothing, I have no control or anything, nothing. And this perspective, like something that I noticed that I thought was kind of bizarre. I'm in my restaurant and I'm watching one of my server people, I think it was Steve, one of the older employees there, good guy. Well, it might have been Curtis or something, I don't know, it was one of them anyway. He was cleaning off the table and preparing it for the guests that were coming and arriving, you know, shortly after the guests that were on the table had left and finished their meal. And, of course, I had hold on to this one's pretty good. I just remember glass, you know, that was the thing we get to. So, but I mean, the table that's there before, you know, it's like the husband, the wife, and the 3 fucking kids, you know, and they all come in. Each one of them like a single file line to their table, you know. And then once they get to their table, it's like they sit down and they're on the shit or whatever, and you know, every single one of them is all on the thing. And then through the whole process, you know, they order all the food and they get the food and everything. All you have things to get the food, and they set it on like the bowl, you know, so they have it in front of them, and then like and the family, and then they're done, you know, they all get their dessert and sit there and just gotta veg out, and then they use the phone and shit, and then they fucking get up and leave. A single word said to anybody during the entire time, the whole family, you know, sitting down there. And I remember when you go to dinner, you sit down and fucking family dinner. That's what you fucking did. That's why you had your ass in the house at that time, because you were going to sit down at family fucking dinner. And you weren't bringing your fucking toys, and you weren't bringing your fucking bullshit, and you weren't bringing your fucking Nintendo and the goddamn TV and all the fucking shit up there just to eat damn family dinner. And we did that. And, you know, I was thinking like, this fucking, you got these fucking children are overweight, they're pale as fuck, they got dark circles under their eyes because they haven't seen the light of day in 37 years. You know, I guess combined in the sense that like, dad is sitting over there dicking around with his phone. He's fucking looking at some conservative propaganda bullshit, Fox News crap that's got him brainwashed and completely blind to the fact that mom is over there sexting with 2 dudes, you know, when she's sending them pictures that she took in the fucking bathroom while she took an hour and a half to fucking get ready before they even made it out to the fucking restaurant so she could get her sex pics for Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry that she was gonna be fucking around with while her husband was brainwashed with his bullshit that didn't matter. You know, little Susie over there is 14 fucking years old. She's sitting around fucking texting back and forth with her boyfriend, who's like fucking 27-year-old fucking loser on Facebook. You know, Bobby's over there, he's the Angry Birds, that's all he's fucking, anybody fucking forget about him. Whatever sound they made, that's Bobby. He's done. Forget about him. He's been playing this shit for 12 fucking years, that's all he cares about. And then, you know, freaking, it's just, and I'm not saying one among them in the group and they're all completely dysfunctional, but I guess if that makes them happy and they're fucking denial, then so be it. Fine. But here's the thing. Don't fucking complain to me that your goddamn food is cold because you had no fucking awareness of how long that shit sat in front of your goddamn face before you started to fucking eat it. Okay? And studies have been done. They've been done. And what they show is that, you know, the complaining customer, the food is cold and all that bullshit, completely just is totally fucking oblivious to their surroundings and what's going on around them, and didn't realize that it took them an hour to get the order to the server because they're on a fucking phone, and it took them 30 fucking minutes after that shit hit the table to even take the fucking first bite. So don't blame me for it. Anyway, after these people leave and go on about their whatever fucking destruction is going to be caused as a result of that situation and Bobby's Angry Birds, you know, his server's preparing the table for the next guest to come in. He sets a glass down there, and I'm watching him, you know, just happen to be looking over there, and he's like elbows the glass, and then it falls off the table, and I'll watch it fall off the table, and then it hits the ground, and it smashes. And I looked at it and I said, man, that's interesting, because the glass, it shattered into a bunch of pieces, and it was broken whenever it hit that floor. But the glass, for some reason or another, wasn't scurrying about or hurrying about to reassemble itself into the state of being of glass. It was broken. It will never, without the hand of a human or something like the glass maker, it will continue to grind down to smaller and smaller and smaller pieces broken until it is a wisp, dust in the wind. And what I realized is that glass, as it sits on the table to serve us as a vestibule for putting liquid in our body, it's not in its natural state as a glass. It's not. As a matter of fact, in a lot of ways you can look at it as being broken in that state. But the point is like in the state that the glass is in, which is this ideal that it serves us, ourselves, when it falls off and it hits that floor and it smashes and it's broken, that puts it closer to God. And you can find this in many different examples. If you're smoking a cigarette or something, smoke comes out, the entire fabricated man thing, the death stick, unravels, and it becomes a wisp. Smoke doesn't go back into the cigarette. It goes with God. In that sense, it becomes broken. As do we. Become broken and then go to God. It's the only way that we can go. Because it's easier for us to be told that we go to God broken than to be told that we're broken now in the current state that we're in. That all of our suit and our cologne and our fucking wallet and our fucking bank account, our fucking car, all that bullshit, it's just broken. That's a symbol of the brokenness. And I mean, you would take it even a step further, you look how many marks you have against you. How many marks do you have against you for carrying around that brokenness? 100,000? 1,000,000? 100 million marks against you, marks of debt. Each one of these marks symbolically have on the back of them a symbol of a pyramid that has an eye. It is an eye, the all-seeing eye. I, me, I. Because there's room for only one at the top of that pyramid. That one is the self. And it's sad that St. Jude's, with all those children that are suffering with no arms and no legs, and some of them even worse than shit you've never even fucking seen before until you seen a kid with half a fucking brain coloring a picture, And the fact they have to ask for money, that's the sad part, I'd like to think that, all people got good people, and I don't think everybody that has money is a bad person, but I know that it says in the Bible, you'd sooner fit a camel through the eye, of a needle than you would a rich man get in heaven. And, the rich man parable that was told, be it true or not, is a valuable lesson on the pathway. And that, as Jesus loved unconditionally, we should strive to do so, same, in honor of that great achievement, in honor of that greater good, that goal that we should all aspire to. Whether you believe in Christ or not, it's not going to change the fact that he achieved. Your belief in a man who's a Zen fucking master who ascended through suffering and unconditional love, it doesn't matter. You know, and whether you believe it or not, be hard pressed to find an argument against love in that way, because go ahead, fight it all you want. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. And I think that, if we're not doing that, we're not doing anything. And how do we do that? I mean, like the parable of the rich man, he saw the miracles. He was around Christ himself. He knew the fucking guy had the shit. He knew it. But whenever Christ said, well, hey, I'm going out over here in this desert, walking over to this mountain over there north of India or Pakistan, like over there by the Himalayas somewhere. I'm walking, gonna take a walk. And you give up all your money, and come with me. I'll take you with me. I'll take you with me where I'm going. I will. And I'll guide you every step of the way, and you'll walk within the love of Christ, Jesus, and my Father, God. And the rich man couldn't do it. He saw the fucking miracles, he saw the shit, he knew fucking everything, but he couldn't let go of that damn money. So, the mark seems fitting, how many marks against you have marks of debt, and you hold them in your banks and everything like that. And all of it's gonna come toppling down. And when the great CPA in the sky comes to do the books, boy, what are they gonna find? You better start getting rid of it now, rich man. Give it to those kids, man. Help people, get the fuck rid of it, absolve yourself of that shit, because it ain't gonna be worth a fuck. It's not even worth anything now. It's not even worth the fucking paper it's printed on now, and everything will be alright if you do that. I think that's what we talk about. We say you be thankful. Especially if you're receiving this message, you be thankful, you be grateful. You be grateful every step of the way that you show fucking gratitude for every mark you give away. No sting of pride, none of that shit. Drop it. Because you're not going to cross that desert with your fucking pride. You're not going to cross that desert with your fucking money. Or your dope. Or your fancy fucking shoes with the nice buckle on them, or the nice shine, You're not gonna make it across the desert with that bullshit, You'll make it across the desert in tattered fucking rags whenever you get on the other side, and you ain't gonna have no fucking pride, and all that fucking shit's gonna be gone. Otherwise, you're gonna be scorching in the back. With the vultures picking at your eyes. So, I think we all get there, it's just a matter of like how many of us want to step up to the fucking plate and start getting this suffrage shit going, because we in this country, man, we just had it too fucking easy for too fucking long. And we fucked up. I mean, hell, I think we brought about the fucking second coming of Christ simply because the way we're fucking behaving and shit, and the way we're condoning our neighbors' abuses against us. We sit in silent indignation as people ruin our fucking communities, and we say, it's none of our business and we'll stay out of it. It's none of our business and we'll stay out of it whenever that dude's over there beating shit out of his kids. It's none of our business, we'll stay out of it when that dude's over there suffering the shit that his wife and his family's doing to him. We'll stay out of it, ain't none of our business. And, it doesn't work. History's already proved that. I mean, silent indignation fucking got it, was only kept you out of fucking long enough to where they were putting you in an oven, in World War II, and that fucking happened. So, I mean, silent indignation's a perfect fucking breeding ground for evil to grow because, hey, good people, just, you know, the righteous thing to do is nothing at all. Except, in your mind, be angry about what's happening. And watch how far that gets you. And watch how many people that saves from getting crucified. And watch how many people that saves from killing themselves and committing suicide or doing harm against others or any manner of fucked up shit, you know, as a result of every step of the way, you know. Nobody did anything because it wasn't their fucking business. And then you should rapidly start fucking seeing a shooter armed with a gun going up to Vegas through his whole life of everybody saying, in fact, it's none of our business, it shouldn't happen to this guy or whatever. And everybody staying the fuck out of the way and minding their business and not saying anything to anybody, not wanting to hurt anybody's fucking feelings, just clear the fucking path and then right atop that building where he put bullets into fucking 50, 60, 70 people. Put a stop to the shit. You know, your family, you start there, man. You see your damn kids on that phone, you tell them you get the fuck off that phone, and if they don't put it down, you take that sumbitch and you crack it. Bop. And watch what happens. They throw a fit like a demon, spinning around like a fucking exorcist. And then when they get that shit out of them, you know, you start working on your family. Don't go fucking worrying about Bill and Bobby's fucking family just yet until you fucking make sure that you keep your family safe. Because do not underestimate the effort that's fucking being put forth to destroy your family. If you have that love and that bond, that you bring them real fucking close. Keep them there. Keep them there. Because if you don't, they'll be gone. I'm going to tell you this right now. You get your wife's fucking phone. You give her yours. And I don't give a fuck what either one of you have to do. You get your shit off of there and your bullshit and whatever the fuck it is you've been doing. You clean the fuck off. Put that shit behind you. And you get with your fucking husband or your spouse, your wife. Get with your kids and everything. Everybody fucking knows what everybody's doing. And everybody keeps everybody in check. Because that's what family does. That's what brothers and sisters do for each other. We look out for each other. Because Christ isn't going to go to the strongest. Christ is going to go the shepherd we're going to follow. I mean, like Satan is just waiting on the outskirts to like pick up anybody that can stray away from the path. And you need to keep your fucking family close. And if we focus on that, you know, maybe we can start helping other families and stuff. I'm telling you right now, the second you fucking turn your back on what the fuck is going on around you and you start to feel comfortable and think shit can't happen to you, it's too late. I'm telling you that right now. And I'll also tell you this. If your husband or your wife, or both, your husband or your wife, or your kids have that Snapchat shit, too late. They've already corrupted themselves. Accept it and fucking move on. There ain't no goddamn reason for that fucking app. There's no reason whatsoever except to lie, deceit, be dishonest. Because that shit is specifically made for anonymously communicating with total fucking strangers in anonymity. Anything that's sent over there disappears in 10 fucking seconds. And you cannot justify me or give me a single good fucking reason why a wife or a husband or anybody that's involved in a covenant with God should have something like that unless it's shared. I think, hey, social media is great because you connect with your family over long distances. You can see pictures of newborns, new additions to your family, and that's a good thing. However, I do believe that married couples ought to have a joint, shared Facebook account. That's where Satan lives. He's fucking thriving right now on that shit by tempting people to destroy marriages left and fucking right. If you are not aware of the divorce crisis that's going on right now, you're not looking at it in the sense that, like, you know, people are just leaving each other because they're unhappy and so on and so forth. And what you're saying whenever you say that is God made a whole bunch of mistakes. No. They were usurped. They didn't have any help. And a community came together, and hell, in a lot of these cases, the community came together in such a sense where you got old Bob over here knows that's your fucking wife, and he goes over there and he does the shit anyway. And I've seen it with my own eyes with my brothers sitting there catcalling to a woman who'd be walking with her boyfriend or her husband. I'd say, hey man, what the fuck are you thinking? You don't catcall to a fucking married woman. You don't even fucking catcall to a fucking single woman, man. You might make that woman feel uncomfortable. You over here objectifying. Well, it's commonplace. It doesn't fucking matter. And we see catcalling to a fucking married couple, and the woman's shaking her fucking ass in the back whenever she's walking by, and it's just fucking rampant. And I blame social media. I blame social media. I blame silent indignation. I blame the conservative people, the narcissist motherfuckers, just as much as I blame the liberal motherfuckers. Because you're conservatives and bullshit, and you're liberals and bullshit, and you're bullshit and bullshit and bullshit, and it's about fucking God. That's what it's about. It ain't about no motherfucking Donald Trump, because he ain't shit. It ain't about no motherfucking Barack Obama or fucking Hillary or whatever the fuck, because they ain't shit. None of us are shit. And if you add us all up, the whole world, we equal a big pile of not shit. Go with God. What is God? Oh, fuck. God is the owner. He's the CEO of the thing. And that's it. You know. I mean, look, I didn't have any of this shit going into this. Didn't exist in my head. You know, I was a shitheel. I thought in that about God or whatever. I probably done disrespect. I was like, fucking, I didn't know all that shit happened to me. But if I had one wish, if I had one fucking wish, I would wish that everybody in the world could like just hop into my head for like 2 fucking seconds and then jump out, and that would be it. You know, because you'd fucking know. You'd be like, shit, okay, yeah, I know. You know, and it's too bad that my words don't carry with it the weight that they should from the experience that I had, because we're just so fucking used to getting fucked and lied to and bullshitted that we just come to expect this commonplace that whenever the very word is a creative act that extends itself beyond your mouth, beyond the wall, beyond everything, all the way to the edge of infinity. And so, you know, if you see injustice going on, it's time to start fucking saying something about it, you know. But it starts in your family. Do that. Get control over that shit. Get the fucking phones out of their hands. Or suffer the fate. And I will say this, we've talked about this before, a lot of people kind of don't go this far with it or whatever, but I find it unique because, hey, with conspiracy theories and stuff, I love thinking about that shit, you know, it's interesting. It's think about detraction. And we were thinking about along the lines of, well, you know, I happen to know to work with another individual that I do tells me about New Age mysticism and magic and shit like that, you know, which for some reason or another is allowed to be prolific without people ridiculing motherfuckers, you know, but God forbid you fucking believe in the love of Christ and the unconditional love of Christ and the suffering that took place in order to elevate him to ascended master. Or any of us, you know, because he said, like, you know, I'm the Son of God. And you are all my brothers, which basically makes us all the same source. But prior to this going on, there was a lot of New Age mysticism and like witchcraft and bullshit and bullshit and all that, you know. And yeah, flat Earth. I mean, we're coming back around fucking full circle to the time that it was before the coming of Christ, because there were fucking pagans and witchcraft, fucking people conjuring demons, and shit was fucked up all over the place to the point where they had to fucking break out of a damn scourge that fucking killed off about 1/3 of the population of the humans, the entire United States. Okay? And one of the items that they talked about pretty often, they used or whatever, ancient practice of magic mysticism, is that they would use these polished obsidian stones with polish, and they make this clear black surface they call black mirror. And this black mirror was used by, you know, witches and people and stuff, practice demonic things, and idiots didn't know what the fuck they're doing or whatever. And you know, what they would do is called scrying. It's a divination is what they call it. They would focus their energy such that their brains would go into like a meditative state, and as they looked upon this like black stone or this black mirror, what they would begin to see was the conjuring of like these demons that would, you know, give them messages or guide them or you know, control them in such a way that they would be however they called upon the thing to occur. Now, oddly enough, that's a black mirror. Look at that. Right there. And these first came out, I mean, and you got one you can see over here. Hell, you're looking right into one if you're watching me talk about this. And what, oddly enough, New Age mysticism and things like that, well, they rely on crystals and quartz and, you know, various different alchemical arrangements of things. And I mean, well, we got the same thing here. It's a liquid crystal display. It's made out of liquid crystals. On the inside, it's controlled by electromagnetism. It's got gold, it's got quartz, it's got alchemical properties of it arranged in a specific way. And the first phones weren't these big giant black mirrors. They weren't. The first phones were, they were little flip phones you put up here, and it's like, well, they're not looking at them. They're not I mean, they got the shit right up to their head, but in order for us to get them to conjure the fucking shit that we're trying to do or achieve here, you gotta have it in front of their face. So, you know, it's diabolical. Texting. Right in front of your fucking face all day long. Sexting, immorality. And the same thing happens whenever you take it a step further in our little conspiracy journey. Is, you know, the kids are being exposed to this, the black mirrors all around them, you know, that they're being, you know, all that shit's being broadcast, you know, and everything. So what they do is they just advertise sugar, all this fucking sugar, just get it, fucking kids are doing sugar, fucking eat it, oh, and, you know, when they do the sugar, well, sugar is interesting, and that is fucking poison. It's the most addictive substance on earth. It's the most oversaturated substance in food on earth. The average caveman had somewhere around 3 tablespoons of sugar in his diet every 3 or 4 years, and the average American is about 180 pounds of it now a year. So, sugar is also a crystal, and it's an attenuator. As a matter of fact, you pump your kids full of sugar, go set them in front of that TV, and they veg out. And recent studies shown, well, he's looking, scrying into this mirror. They don't even know it's looking. They're getting the image brought out. They're told what they're going to be thinking. We're guided with the imagery of what we're going to be conjuring from the black mirror that's behind it. The image, the TV shoots a light It's a screen. We see the light and the image of what we're told to be think. We're guided by storytelling to think this thing, you know, and consequently, kid pumped full of sugar, just like quartz is known in New Age mysticism, amplify, you know, different energies and stuff like that. You pump the kid's family full of sugar, set them down in front of the TV, they're attenuated. Studies already shown as soon as that TV comes on, in 1.5 seconds you're in a beta wave brain state, which is no different than being in a transcendental meditative wave state. And here comes the greed, the war, the vanity, the gluttony, the wanton fucking just destruction of the mind. Like fucking look at all this horrible, bad, terrifying fucking shit, the brainwashing, the propaganda, people fucking each other over, and the housewives and the trash talk and the fucking reality TV that's blown up all over. The Learning Channel, which has Honey Boo Boo. You know, the History Channel, just, you know, what the fuck is the history? The fucking Animal Planet, the Ice Road Truckers, you know. It's like it was semantics. That's the one is the fucking semantics. You can call Satan God and then go for it, you know. That's however you get it. So that's just something for you to think about. You're fucking completely surrounded. And unless you start kind of nudging yourself toward that falling off the table, you know, so what you believe to be your broken perfect glass would be something great, and break that shit, get broken, and fucking get right with God, because it's coming. It's coming. You know, we pretty much know when it's coming. Yeah, I would put it out there. We'll say 2038 epoch. That's whenever it happens. So I'll be ready. No, hell, I might be gone before then, you know. But as to make a predictive measure, I'll have to go back on this and look, you know, whenever nobody's gonna give a shit to go back and look. Nobody's even gonna give a shit to look now. So take care, everybody. It goes. Bye.